Welcome to a new episode of Biopilates Deep Dive. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic exercises in the Stott Pilates method, a powerful, precise, and often misunderstood classic, the 100. The 100 is a foundation. It encapsulates all the core principles of the method, centering breath, precision, flow, control, and above all, endurance. It's not just a warm-up, it's a test of your ability to coordinate movement and breath, to maintain alignment while activating deeply from your center. Let's begin with setup. You're lying on your back in imprinted position, gently pressing the lower back into the mat without force. Legs are in tabletop, parallel and adducted, knees bent at 90 degrees, ankles dorsiflexed with toes lightly pointed. Arms are extended long beside you, palms facing down. Your shoulder blades are anchored, neck long. Take a moment here. Inhale. Feel your body connect to the ground. And as you exhale, allow your rib cage to soften, your abdominals to activate. On the next exhale, gently nod the head, lengthen the back of the neck, engage your deep core, and lift the head, shoulders, and arms into spinal flexion. Arms hover at shoulder height, floating just above the mat. This is where the 100 begins. You inhale for a count of 5, exhale for 5, and continue that rhythmic breath for 10 full cycles, 100 beats. The arms pulse up and down in small vertical movements, strong yet controlled, like a metronome of the body. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. But here's what makes this exercise truly powerful. It's not brute force. It's precision and subtlety. You're breathing deeply, holding spinal flexion, keeping your pelvis and shoulder girdles stable, all while moving the arms with rhythm and intention. And there are two major corrections that we absolutely must keep in mind during the 100. First, the placement of the head. Because the exercise is long, the neck flexors fatigue quickly. And when they do, there's a natural tendency to let the head drop back, creating tension in the upper body, especially in the pecs and the neck. Instead of pushing through with strain, it's far better to place the head gently down on the mat and focus on preserving spinal length and core engagement. Second, the position of the pelvis. For beginners, the imprint is essential. For more advanced practitioners, a neutral pelvis is an excellent progression, but either way, the key is consistency. Due to the high isometric demand placed on the hip flexors during the 100, there's a real risk of arching the lower back as fatigue sets in. We must resist that tendency and maintain the same lumbar position throughout, imprinted or neutral, without increasing lumbar lordosis. Let's take a moment now to understand what's actually happening inside the body. We're activating the transversus abdominis, your body's natural corset. The rectus abdominis and obliques support the spinal flexion. The scapular stabilizers, hip flexors, adductors, and quadriceps are all working, some visibly, others more subtly. And this is the perfect moment to define the 4 main types of muscle contractions involved in the 100, all of which are part of the Pilates vocabulary. A concentric contraction is when a muscle shortens to produce movement, like when the abdominals pull the rib cage toward the pelvis to lift the upper body into flexion. An eccentric contraction is when a muscle lengthens under tension, such as during a controlled lowering from spinal flexion, resisting gravity. A contraction isometric happens when a muscle contracts without changing its length. This is the dominant type in the 100. The deep abdominals, the hip flexors, and the quads are all contracting isometrically to hold the legs up and the torso curled in place. And finally, we include isotonic contraction, a broader term that describes any movement-based contraction where the muscle changes length to create motion. Isotonic contractions can be either concentric or eccentric. For example, when the arms pulse rhythmically in the 100, that's a clear isotonic action. Your shoulder stabilizers, alternate between shortening and lengthening to produce that dynamic, controlled motion. Understanding these muscular actions allows you to move from performing the exercise to embodying it. But it's not just the muscular system that's at work. The nervous system is also deeply engaged and challenged throughout the 100. Sustaining spinal flexion, coordinating rhythmic arm movements, maintaining breath control, and resisting fatigue all require continuous neuromuscular communication. Your brain is actively scanning posture, balance, breath, tension, effort every second. This sustained attention and motor coordination can trigger nervous system fatigue, especially in beginners. That's why form starts to deteriorate around the 6th or 7th breath cycle, not always from lack of muscle strength, but from neurological overload. Practicing the 100 regularly sharpens this sensoromotor integration, improving your ability to focus, to control effort under fatigue, and to refine precision in movement even when the body wants to give up. It's not just core training, it's neural endurance training. And if you're not quite there yet, no problem. Modify intelligently. Here are some options. Keep your head and feet on the mat at first. If your neck tires, place one hand behind your head. Use a Pilates ring or a flex band for feedback or resistance. Keep your legs in tabletop if full extension destabilizes your pelvis. Try pulsing your arms with a staccato breath rhythm to avoid breath holding. Remember, the goal is not to appear strong. It's to develop true stability consciously, progressively, and safely. To finish the exercise, take one last inhale in spinal flexion. Then exhale to lower your upper body back to the mat, keeping the legs lifted for a moment before returning them down. Take a breath. Let the sensation settle. The 100 is a rite of passage. It teaches you to live in your center, to breathe through effort, and to hold steady in the midst of intensity. It's demanding, yes, but it gives back far more than it takes. It cultivates deep strength, grounded endurance, and quiet power. So next time you're doing the 100, don't just count to 100. Let it be 100 affirmations of your inner control. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Biopilates Deep Dive. I'll see you again soon for another journey through the movement.